Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we've got a slightly different setup here. I'm gonna be teaching you how to make flour tortillas like a Mexican. You might be saying, well, Gabby, you're not Mexican. Why would you be teaching us how to make tortillas? Well, because I married one and I'm good at it. I even have his seal of approval. So anyway, certified Mexican approved tortillas from yours truly. Soft, fluffy, warm, amazing, pillowy tortillas. I can't wait to show you. So let's just get started. So first things first, you're gonna need to grab yourself a bowl and, believe it or not, a rolling pin. For flour tortillas, you really don't need a tortilla press. Fortunately, tortillas are super easy to make. All you need is flour, lard, salt, and warm water. That's it, 4 ingredients. Now there's a couple of different schools of tortilla making. The way that I learned from my mother-in-law, who came straight from Mexico, was just these 4 ingredients. She didn't use baking soda, but there are other parts of Mexico that use baking soda. That's just not the method that I use. It's also gonna really help if you have a scale. Scales will allow you to be consistent throughout the whole thing. If you do any sort of baking or cooking, having a scale is one way to just make sure that you stay consistent the entire time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the flour and I'm gonna measure out for a dozen tortillas. I'm gonna measure out 300 grams of flour. That one a little over. And I'll need more flour later on when I roll them out. Now I'm gonna add 6 grams of salt. And here's why you wanna do it by weight and not by like tablespoons and stuff. It's because I literally have like 3 different types of salt, right? This one for a 1/4 teaspoon is 0.7 grams of weight. For another salt, a 1/4 teaspoon is 1.2 grams of weight. You're gonna get more consistent results if you weigh them. Oh, I went a little over. Okay, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Shit happens. I forgot you're gonna need a whisk too. You're gonna wanna whisk this all together. You just incorporate the flour and the salt. Easy peasy. I love making flour tortillas. All right, now we're gonna cut the lard into the flour and salt mixture. I just take like a block of lard and skim my my spoon like across the top of it and get like kind of these thin little shavings. I've found it to make it easier for me to cut the lard into the flour so I don't get like as many big clumps right off the bat. But we're gonna do, for this, 45 grams of lard. Boop, 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 boop. Lard time. Oh, that's probably gonna be more than 5 grams. I only need 5 grams. I'm using my grubby little fingers because it's just, ooh, almost there. Almost there. If you're a little under or a little over, it's not the end of the world. We're not making bread. I mean, would you consider tortillas bread? No. Tortillas are tortillas, they're different. Okay, 45.3, that's fine. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my grubby little fingers. You should have washed your hands if you're following along with this. Wash your hands because you're gonna get them dirty. So just like squeeze and kind of rub and just cut the lard into the flour like this. You'll see that like it gets kind of like crumbly, right? We're gonna thoroughly mix until everything starts to come together. Like one big happy Mexican family. So I'm dedicating this video to my sister-in-laws because they've wanted to learn how to make tortillas for a long time. But you know, like every Mexican mother out there, my mother-in-law is like, well, all you do is you just take flour and water and salt and lard and you mix it all together and you make tortillas. She does it by feel. There's like absolutely no system of measuring at all. And it's just very, very common. So what I had to do was like wake up super early one morning, which everyone loves doing, especially when you're an adult. And I watched her make tortillas and kind of like guesstimated and was like, oh, she used about a cup of flour and about you know, whatever. And from there, it got me close enough where I was able to like experiment. So anyway, I am here to bridge the gap between cultures and translate, I suppose, and get you guys the recipe. The recipe. Okay, so you can see that this is like clumping together when I squeeze, right? My hand together, it clumps like this. That's good. And you wanna have like some crumblies down here. You don't want like the whole thing to like stick together. Otherwise it's gonna be too much like pie crust. If it gets too flaky after you've like rolled them out and cooked the tortillas and stuff, if you notice that like it tastes a little too much like pie crust, you wanna dial back on the lard a little bit. But it's pretty well incorporated. I don't have like any fine bits of flour, so I think it's time to add the water. So for this much flour and this much lard and everything, I'm going to just kind of make this little hole right here. And we're gonna pour hot water, not like boiling hot, don't microwave it, but just like hot out of the tap, which is relative, roughly 100 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. Like you want it hot, but not like hot, but not just warm, but like hot. Anyway, all right, we're gonna measure out 150 grams of water. And I kind of just like pour it evenly. Oops, okay, I went a little over. We're at 160. Not the end of the world, it's fine. Shit like this happens. I'm gonna take the old spoon that I used for cutting the lard and I'm just gonna mix it together. Turn off my scale because I don't need that bitch anymore. And once it all starts to kind of come together, then I will start to use my hands. And I can already tell that these might be a little too moist. A little too moist. Oh, that's everyone's favorite word, moist. Moist. Get over it. Grow up. Grow up. Moist. Sorry. So I'm just gonna use my hands now to get this incorporated. Yeah, this is too sticky. It is too sticky, but that's okay, because tortillas are relatively forgiving. And that's why you don't do what I did and you pour your water slower. Do as I say, not as I do. Pour your water slower. It'll just help so that you don't have to course correct, because then what ends up happening is if you have to like add more flour later, then your tortillas can become like a little too tough. All right, this kind of all came together nicely on its own, and that's fine. All right, so I'm just gonna like grab all the little crumbly bits and gently work this into a ball. Roll it, give it some love. Make sure all the ingredients are mixed together. And now, as you can see, there's no like salt granules or like obvious, you know, lumps of flour or anything. We're not making a bread, so you don't want to sit there and knead it all day. You just want it like all nicely incorporated. Nice little ball of dough. Nice little smackaroo, yeah. Bad boy. Anyway. I don't know if you can hear Eddie whimpering through my lav. I'm gonna get some plastic wrap and wrap it up. You just wanna let the dough rest for like 5 minutes-ish. Just let her rest, she's exhausted. She needs a nap. Good night. All right, so now that it's rested for a little bit, we're gonna unwrap the dough. And you'll notice that it's changed. It's like more glossy, kind of, a little bit more elastic. It's just better. It's chilled the out, it's had a moment, and it's regrouped, okay? So we're gonna divide this into like 2 equal balls, and then divide those balls into 2 more equal balls. And then once you get those balls, then you can divide those balls into like more balls. So many balls. So we'll kind of tear these into 3 roughly equal sized balls. And again, they don't have to be perfect because it's not a tortilla factory. We're making homemade flour tortillas, right? And that's kind of the charm. Sometimes when you're eating tacos or whatever, like you want one that's bigger because you're just a little extra hungry. And sometimes you want one that's like a little smaller because maybe you're at the end of your meal and you're like, I just want a little taco. So that's where, like, you know, the size differences kind of come in handy. They're advantageous. They don't all have to be the same. These guys are not gonna be the same, and that's okay. It's not the end of the world. It's chill. Now, once we've rolled them into balls, we're gonna kind of squish them down with our palms like that. You see? Just squish it. Make like little discs. And I probably could have just done that from the beginning and been more efficient with my time, but can't think of everything, am I right? Can't think of anything also, me and my brain. And quickly swoosh. So yeah, the reason I don't use a tortilla press is because you press them flat and they don't press all the way flat. I roll my tortillas really, really thin. So let me show you. We're gonna sprinkle some flour over these guys. And then we're gonna dust our tabletop with flour as well, okay? And keep this flour on handy because we're gonna need more of it. All right, so I grab my first ball, right? And I'm gonna just like do one little roll-ski and rotate. Do another little roll-ski and rotate, right? You'll notice there's a lot of flour on this tortilla. We'll shake that off later or kind of brush it off now. There's like way too much flour on this thing. You don't wanna like dredge them in flour like I just did. So when you're rolling these guys out, right? Like, if they're not perfect circles, that's beautiful. I think tortillas that are not perfect circles are way more fun than tortillas that are perfect circles. Because sometimes you get different shapes and you're like, oh my God, what's that? Is that Australia? Is that an elephant rolled up into a little ball? Is that my dog's face? You don't know, but it could be anything. Imagination, it's a wonderful thing. Okay, there was like too much flour on this guy, but on this side, it's good. So like, I don't know, you can really pick up the difference in the camera, but too much flour on this side, perfect amount of flour on this side. So anyway, just do your best to like beat off any excess flour. And I should have mentioned before rolling out these tortillas to preheat your stove top. So you can cook with like a griddle. It's always best to use like a comal. Depending on if you have an electric or a gas stove is really going to depend on how you cook your tortillas. In general though, cook them over like medium-high heat. My griddle has an exact temperature setting on it, so I set it to between 425 and 450, just depending on how spicy I feel that day. It's random. So medium-high heat though. You don't want to be burning your tortillas, but you also want to make sure that they brown faster than they crisp. If they take too long to get like brown spots on the stovetop, then they'll get hard, and you don't want hard tortillas. You want them soft. So it's a delicate balance. All right, so you've rolled up your tortilla, you've heated up your pan, and now it's time to slap it on there. Now what you're looking for as it's cooking is it's gonna start forming little bubbles on the surface, right? You wanna make sure that it forms like bubbles evenly throughout the tortilla, and you start getting some of these big guys in there before you flip it. Because you're looking for one side to be browned before you flip it. If you're doing like the flop jacks or apple jacks, whatever the game you call it, that's you're gonna start like crisping up your tortilla, and that's not what you want. But that's what you want. That looks good. That's gonna be a really good tortilla. And when it puffs up, it means your mother-in-law loves you. I know, because she tells me that every single time she makes tortillas. It's really sweet. Honestly though, this pan might be a little on the hot side, and it's just on medium. My stove runs crazy hot, so I'm gonna turn it down just a notch, and hopefully that'll result in a better tortilla the next time. Oh yeah, that burned. Yee, that burned. And I just put it in the little tortilla keeper. Yeah. Isn't that cute? So you just proceed like that until you get a whole thing full of tortillas, and then you can do whatever you want with them. Next, I'll show you how to make some bomb-ass breakfast tacos that will impress everybody. Now we've got 1 dozen soft, warm, fluffy tortillas. Check it out. Look at that. Oh my God, they look so good. This one looks like he's screaming. He's got like 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. So that's fun. Since this is my first cooking video, I'm realizing that there's quite a few things that I probably left out. So please refer to the description or pinned comment for more details. There, I will fill in all of the blanks that I left out during the video because apparently cooking and talking is hard for me, but we'll get there. So now I'm gonna show you how to make some badass breakfast tacos. When I first moved in with Eddie and his parents, I gained 20 pounds because the tacos were so good. You're never, ever, ever gonna wanna make packaged tortillas. That doesn't make sense. Buy packaged tortillas after you make homemade tortillas. You're just not. It's also a lot cheaper to make them yourself. At my local grocery store, for 20 tortillas, you're gonna pay $5. $5. You can get you a whole ass bag of flour for about the same, probably less, depending on what kind of flour you buy. All purpose, by the way, is what you want for tortillas. This is 2.27 kilos. You can get 80 tortillas out of 1 bag of flour. And like, I mean, it really doesn't take that much time, right? It took me like maybe 20 minutes to whip these tortillas up. If you make a dozen tortillas and it's just you, or you and 1 other person, or you know, maybe it's your family, it's whatever. Regardless, they're better for you and they're cheaper and they're really good. I'm gonna taste it because I'm hungry. Yeah, that's good. That's a good tortilla. Oh my God. If you ever want to make a wrap, you can literally just take like the recipe, and instead of dividing it into 12 small balls, you divide it into 6 big balls. And you know, these are like what, approximately 8-inch tortillas when you roll them like an 1/8 inch thick or less. I haven't measured them. They're pretty thin though. Or you could take that wrap and you can make a big quesadilla. Quesadillas are bomb. There's so much you could do with this recipe. Just roll them into different sizes. The possibilities are endless. That hit the spot. Now I'm gonna teach you how to make a chorizo and egg taco, where the chorizo is not too overpowering for the egg. So chorizo, like a little bit goes a long way, really. So here, I've already used half of this. Looks so janky, but I've already used half of this because I've been practicing making tortillas all week, so like might as well eat them right. But get you like some pork chorizo like this. It's like kind of mushy and shit, and like what you do is you put it in the pan and you cook it until it crisps up, right? And then you mix in the egg and then you top it on you put it in the taco, and it's amazing. So we're gonna take about a tablespoon of this, like you really don't need a lot, per like 3 eggs. So let's go. All right, so yeah, literally just like a tablespoon of this stuff into the pan and wait for it to crisp. What I'm attempting to do is break it up, which gets easier as it cooks down. You see it's starting to get brown and crispy. Won't take long. Oh, there went like half of my chorizo. You can see it's bubbling now on the surface of the meat. That means it's getting pretty crispy. Just kind of keep tossing it around. It just like naturally won't stick back together now, so that's a good sign. You don't want to burn it though. Kind of get that nice dark brown color on it though. And like the natural oils are in the pan, so I'm not gonna add any more fat, but I'm gonna turn down the heat all the way to low and pop these eggs in there. This is actually probably more appropriate for 2 eggs, so that's all we're gonna do, is just 2. 3, you wouldn't have enough chorizo in there. So we're just gonna scramble it all together and keep scrambling it until the egg is almost cooked through. About here, I'm gonna turn off the heat and just let the pan do the rest of the work, which really didn't take long at all. Now I'm only gonna season it with salt because there's some spice in the chorizo already. If you want more spice, you can season it with pepper. It's just kind of up to your flavor preferences, really. You can always add more chorizo, but I find that too much chorizo really just buries the flavor of the egg. So that's why we went with the amount that we did. And now we're gonna get our trusty tortillas. All right, see, we got this tortilla that's got like some nice dark brown, but not burnt color on it. And we're just gonna spoon this on here. And I got a second tortilla that I'm just gonna dump the rest on the pan. Voila! Got yourself some chorizo tacos. So now I've served up my tacos. I've got some crema and some homemade salsa that I'm gonna top these tacos with. They are just the best thing ever. So this crema though, it's important. Crema salvadoreña is like the chef's kiss of all cremas. Honestly, it's like, it's thicker, it's not runny, and it'll pair really, really nicely with the chorizo because it's a little sweet, but like mild. Little bit of crema, little bit of salsa. All right, now it's time for the taste test. Ready? Oh my God, that is really good. Sometimes I surprise myself. Wow. Maybe it's just because I'm really hungry, but that's like good. That's good. I've got egg in my hair. I just washed it too. And now for the Mexican seal of approval.
I'm already in it. Like,
Did I do good? Is it authentic Mexican taco?
Muchachos. I don't know how many close-ups y'all already got of this, but this is legit. My grandma would be so proud.
Aww.
My mom would be so proud.
Thank you.
You got the texture right.
Thank you.
You got the little burn marks on there. That's how you know they're legit, when you got like the little burn marks on the tortillas.
They smell so good, right?
Wait, hold on.
Oh, okay. What are we doing? Are you getting the butter? Oh, that's the best way.
Well, they're still warm and fresh. Oh, baby. Oh my God. And you taught them how to make it?
I did my best.
I'm gonna tell you, man, these are legit tortillas. You make them just like my mom. Dare I say, maybe even better. I'm just trying to earn brownie points. No, they're good for real. They're good.
Thank you.
If you taught them how to make this, you guys have just learned a golden recipe. If you can make it like this, you don't need to go buy breakfast tacos again. Like, you just make these, you make a batch of these, right? You store them and you save them for later. And you have this with some eggs and bacon, simple eggs and bacon, frijoles. Put a little bit of salsa on them. Did you teach them how to make the salsa too?
No.
That's on a different video, huh?
Yeah.
Man, these are legit. I just want to keep eating them.
Yeah, I do too.
Like my mom would say, you can marry him now.
She tells me that a lot. Every time I make good food, she's like,
we're already married.
You can marry me. Yeah.
It's just a Mexican mom compliment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's legit. That's amazing. I love it.
Yay! Woo! Thank you.
Wait, Eddie's happy dance.
So now you know how to make authentic Mexican tortillas that will make your man happy, or your woman, or your dog, or anybody. It'll make you happy, and that's the most important thing.
or that will make you lots of views because you just did a really good recipe.
Yay! So if you want to see more content like this, please leave me a message in the comments down below, and I will see you next time.
Subscribe to my channel because I need the
Get out
subscribers.
of here! Bye.